Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about super elevation. It's a part in transportation engineering. So let's study what is super elevation. See, in case of a horizontal curve, we always see that with respect to the horizontal, the surface, the outer edge of the pavement is raised with respect to the inner edge, giving an angle, providing an angle theta. So we always see this in horizontal curve because always a centrifugal force is acting. That is, when the vehicle is traveling in a horizontal curve, there's an always a force which is repelling from the center. That is the centrifugal force. So there is always a centrifugal force acting on a vehicle while traveling on a horizontal curve. So in order to what to tell counteract that, we provide a slope theta that is called super elevation. So let's read the definition of super elevation. In order to counteract the effect of centrifugal force and to reduce the tendency of the vehicle to overturn or skid, the outer edge of the pavement is raised with respect to the inner edge, thus providing a transverse slope throughout the length of the horizontal curve. This transverse inclination to the pavement surface is known as superelevation or cant or banking. The other name for superelevation is called cant or banking. Okay, see this theta. Theta is called the rate of superelevation. So from this figure, theta will be equal to NL by ML. So NL, if you are giving the value as capital E, that is the value of superelevation. So E by ML will be theta, tan theta. But tan theta being very small, we can take that equal to sine theta. So sine theta is opposite by hypotenuse. That will be equal to E by or NL by Mn. Mn is width of pavement. So we have sine theta is equal to E by B. That is capital E by capital B. So we know that sine theta is equal to E. That is small e, rate of super elevation. So we get the derivation as E is equal to capital E by B. So see the vehicle. What all forces are acting on this vehicle? The weight of the vehicle is acting downward, giving an angle theta. See here there is an angle theta. Therefore, we will have angle theta with respect to this W weight of vehicle and P, which is the centrifugal force. So in green, I have represented the components of centrifugal force, that is P cos theta and P sin theta. And in purple, I have represented the components of weight of vehicle, that is W cos theta and W sin theta. So also we have friction force, that is lateral friction, capital F, acting on this vehicle in pink color. That is equal to small f into reaction. So reaction is the vertical component, that is W cos theta plus P sin theta. This one. So small f is the coefficient of lateral friction or lateral skid resistance. So that value maximum is 0.15. So we will discuss about the derivation. So we know that if you consider this as the x direction, we have in positive x direction P cos theta, this green one, and W sin theta plus capital F as opposite negative x direction in x negative x direction. So P cos theta will be equal to W sin theta plus F, where F is F into reaction. Reaction is W cos theta plus P sin theta. So we have that one here. So rearranging this, we will have P by W is equal to sin theta plus F cos theta by cos theta minus F sin theta. So dividing this by cos theta, we have tan theta plus F by 1 minus F tan theta. We have F value maximum as 0.15, which is very important, and tan theta is 0.07, almost equal to 0.07. In different cases, it can be slightly different, but we take it as 0.07 here. So we have f tan theta almost equal to 0.01. Therefore, 1 minus f tan theta will be 0.99, which is approximately equal to 1, which means that the denominator can be taken as 1. So P by W is equal to tan theta plus F. So we know that tan theta is equal to small e. So we have P by W is equal to E plus F. Also, we know that centrifugal force P is equal to mv square by r, where r is the radius of the curve, v is the velocity of the vehicle, and m is the mass of the vehicle. So, mass can be written as W by g, where g is the acceleration due to gravity. Its value is 9.8 meter by second square. So substituting that here, arranging, we will get P by W is equal to V square by GR. So we have E by F is equal to V square by GR, where V is in meter by second and G is 9.8 meter by second square. If we are taking velocity in kilometer per hour, we can divide this V by 0.278 V square by G value is 9.8 into R. So then we will get a value of V square by 127 R. This is very important. Okay, suppose F is equal to 0, that is lateral friction is 0, then E will be equal to V square by 127 R. It means that the vehicle is having pressure on inner wheels and outer wheels as equal. That is, vehicle have pressure on both the wheels equal. It is called equilibrium superelevation. Then F is 0 means that the whole value of V square by 127 R is taken by E. So E will be higher on this side. If we have to limit this E value, because suppose a heavy vehicle is moving, a truck is moving with the wooden pieces like this, then what will happen if we are providing, instead of this E, we are providing this much E with respect to this horizontal, then what will happen? The wood will topple down, or else the vehicle as such will topple down. So this is very dangerous. So we have to limit the value of E. So maximum limit of super elevation is there. We will study that now. So maximum superelevation for urban roads with frequent intersection is 4%. It is limited to 4% because it is that for urban roads we have vehicles moving, traffic will be more, and frequently there are intersections, mean that if you provide very high value of E, then it will be very difficult for the vehicle to move from one road to another. So in order to ease the vehicle movement, we will provide only E as maximum 4%. Then in plain and rolling terrain and in snowbound areas, we can have E as 7% maximum. And then hilly roads not bound by snow. It is not bound by snow means we can give 10% maximum super elevation. So that is about maximum super elevation. Then maximum value of coefficient of lateral friction small f will be 0.15, and E minimum, that is minimum E that should be provided, is equal to the camber value. So this camber we provide for drainage purpose. So minimum drainage purpose E should be there for horizontal curves. Okay. Then we will have design super elevation. See, we already have discussed about heavy truck moving on a horizontal curve. So for that, if F is equal to 0, we have E value will be very high. So for mixed traffic, if E value is very high, it will be very dangerous for heavy moving vehicle which is moving in very slow manner. So we have to reduce the velocity in order that E is reduced. So F is 0 here. So we will take speed is equal to 0.75 into design speed. So if we are reducing the velocity to 0.75, we will have E is equal to V square by 225 R. This is very important. This is the design super elevation. So how are the design steps? See, first we have to find out the E value using this formula. If the E value we found using this formula is less than E maximum, then we can give that E value. But if suppose E value we obtained is greater than E maximum, we have to limit the value to E maximum. And from E plus F is equal to V square by 127 R, we have to find out the value of F. So we are giving E maximum here and we are finding the value of F. If suppose the F value we got is less than 0.15, which is the maximum limit, then it is okay. Otherwise, we have to limit the value to 0.15. See, if you limit the value of E and F to 0.07 and 0.15, then V square by 127 R. In that, R is also a constant radius of the curve. So only V term we can change now. So if F is also, we are limiting that to 0.15, we have to limit velocity to VA. So E plus F is equal to VA square by 127 R, where VA is the allowable velocity. So for plain and rolling terrain, we know that E value is 0.07. So substituting that, we get a VA value of root 27.94 R kilometer per hour. So if suppose the velocity we are provided that is greater than allowable velocity, then we have to limit the velocity to allowable velocity. If suppose the allowable velocity is greater than what velocity we are providing, then it is okay. Okay, so that is there. Now attainment of super elevation. We can attain the super elevation by following two simple steps. That is, see here, this is how the payment surface will be. So we have to first remove this crown portion. This portion is called the crown portion. We have to remove this crown portion, and we have to what to do? Increase this portion, right? Rotate this outer. If this is the inner portion and this is the outer portion, we have to rotate this outer portion to come here so that we get a uniform super elevation. These are the two steps we have to follow, that is elimination of crown and rotation of pavement to attain full super elevation. So first we will discuss about elimination of crown. See, elimination of crown can be done in two ways. See here, if suppose this is the outer edge and this is the inner edge. Here also this is the outer edge and this is the inner edge. See here, we are rotating this about this crown portion. So like this we are rotating like this. So there won't be any negative super elevation here. So that will be very easy for vehicles to travel. And here in this case, this is called diagonal crown method. That is, the crown is getting shifted. See this portion is getting shifted to here, here, and here. Then here the total super elevation we attain. Okay. So this is diagonal crown method. Here negative super elevation will be there. These portions here, this portion, everywhere we get negative super elevation in this case. So this is very difficult for vehicles to travel with. So now the next one is rotation of pavement. Here, this is the center point, and here the central point is changed. That is, the central point is uh, higher here. That is, it is changed. So here the vertical profile is unaltered here. This point, the vertical center point is unaltered here. And here the if the capital E is the total super elevation, we are in the inner, if this is the inner portion and this is the outer portion, we are uh, decreasing, or we are cutting here this portion in the inner portion, and in the here, outer portion we are filling it. So cutting and filling will be equal because this value is e by 2 and this value is e by 2. So balanced earthwork will be there. And for in heavy rainfall region, if there is a drainage here, see this level, it is going downward, so there can be drainage issues here when there is heavy rainfall. So that is the disadvantage of this method. And here the vertical alignment is changed, and there will be extra filling because this is the inner portion and this is the outer portion. So outer portion we are raising with respect to inner portion maximum value as E, capital E. So that much rising we are giving. So we have to provide extra filling, and the central portion is also high here. It is preferred for flat areas having heavy rainfall because it is easy to remove the excess rainfall water. Okay, excess water. Okay, sorry. Then super elevation, the value of super elevation as per IRC by raising the outer edge will be 1 and 150 for plain and rolling terrain and 1 and 60 for steep and mountainous terrain. This point is also very important. This is always asked for PSDs. Okay, so that much is there in super elevation. We have done with this portion. If you check the textbook also, you won't get anything more than this. So do study this. Thank you for watching my video. Do share with your friends. Subscribe to my channel.